Hello and welcome to another yoga bite. So for this yoga bite we're going to have a look at eagle pose, which is quite an interesting balance. It's not a difficult one, and there are alterations you can do with your feet to make the balancing much easier, and then as you progress, as your balance improves, you can then change the feet a little bit to increase the complexity of the pose. It does work to open the shoulders, so it's very good if you're driving all day or sitting hunched over a computer all day, because it really does force you to pull those shoulders back, and it works both the arms and the legs at the same time, which is quite nice. So we'll start by looking at the arms first. So the arms want to come out at shoulder height. Take the right hand underneath the left, bend the elbows and turn the palms to face you. Then you want to take the right palm in front of the left palm and then bring the palms to touch. Now the idea here is that the hands should be straight with the arms, so they shouldn't be having to twist like this to get into the pose. You want them nice and straight. If you're finding that they're bending, then leave the hands back to back here and stay in this pose. Once you're in the arm pose that is comfortable for you, you then want to bring the elbows up to shoulder height, and this is the point where you can feel the stretch through the shoulders. And so you keep looking forwards. You don't want to be pulling your head back. Your head wants to be nice and relaxed in standard mountain pose posture. And you don't want your hands to be falling towards your head. You want to be pulling them out at all times, so keeping them in line with the elbows. To release, let go with the palms and then uncross the arms. Now we're going to try that on the other side. So the right arm is going to come over the left, again turning the palms to face you and then bringing the hands together, and again lifting the elbows, pulling the hands out and trying to keep the wrists in a neutral position. If you can't do that, then just have the backs of the hands touching and gradually work towards it. If the hands aren't in neutral flexion, then it's going to start to cause pain, and this pose shouldn't be causing any pain. It should be causing a little bit of a stretch over the shoulders, which could be a little bit of a niggle, but it shouldn't be painful. It should just feel like the muscles are working. And then again, unclasp the arms and open up. Second part of the pose is the legs. So to do the legs, I want you to take all your weight into your left leg to start with. Take the right leg and cross the knee over the left knee. Now if your balance is bad, this is where you can just take your toe down to the floor of the right foot, and then you've got that extra little bit of connection with the floor to help you balance. As you progress, as your balance gets better, as you find the use of your drishti, which is your focal point, something that doesn't move, that's just in front of the body, slightly down on the floor usually. It can be more forwards if you prefer to keep looking forwards, but it should be something that's stable. Once you've got that, you can then tuck the foot behind the leg so that the toes come out here. So now you've got your legs crossed. You want to aim to keep your torso in mountain pose nice and sturdy, and the head, as I've said before, wants to stay central on the spine. Coming out of that, and I'll show you this one from the side. So this time taking the weight into the right leg, left leg goes over the top, staying here if you need that little extra help with the balance, or tucking the toe around the back and making sure that your spine is still in neutral, your head is still sitting over the hips. And just breathe in here and enjoying the pose. Unhook the foot and coming back round. So putting both of those together, starting with the legs. Weight into the left leg, right leg tucks round. Arms out in front, the arm that goes underneath is the same as the leg that's on top. So the right arm comes underneath to bring the arms together, pushing the elbows up, pulling the hands out. Making sure that your spine is staying nice and straight. Of course, at this point, you suddenly find that your drishti is a lot closer to you as it suddenly becomes your arms in front of your face. That, for some people, that can be more helpful. For some, it can make it a little harder to balance. If you're finding that it makes it harder to balance, my advice is to take your eyes slightly out of focus as you look at your arms. We'll just take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, unravel both the arms and the feet. So again, I'll do it to the side this time. So taking the weight into the right leg, cross the left leg over. As you're crossing the leg, you will notice that I do bend that standing knee ever so slightly to give my knee something to get hold of. Left arm underneath. I'm focusing on making sure that these arms stay in the correct posture. And I apologise for the screaming parrot in the background. He's upset because the hubby's just gone into the garage. Exhale and unravel the arms and legs. So that's the basic eagle pose. As I said, it's very good for correcting posture in the shoulders. It's also good for increasing the range of movement in the knees, and obviously it helps with balance, concentration, all the things that a normal balance pose helps with. It also works the core, but it's a gentle working of the core, and it's making sure that you're using both the back and the front muscles to keep the body nice and stable. You can move on with this pose, so a slightly more advanced version of the pose. Again, I'll do it once from the front on one side, and then I'll show you from the side on the other side. So coming into the basic eagle pose. And then what you can do here is on an exhale, you can bring the elbow down to the knee. You want to try not to bend the spine, and you don't want to fold your head down, so you want to stay looking forwards. You don't want to roll the shoulders up to the ears, you want to keep them pulling down. And just breathe in here. So this just puts a little bit more work through the legs. And also it just changes that aspect of the balance. Inhaling to come up. Whoop. Hard part is sometimes getting out of it without falling over. And then exhale, unraveling the arms. So again, I'll come round to the side. Doing it on the right hand side this time. Left leg over the right. Left arm underneath. Exhale and coming down. Bringing the elbow to the knee. And then making sure that the back is nice and straight. So it's kind of like you're sitting down into a chair. And maybe you're considering something. So like I said, it is a much stronger pose through the leg, because now the leg is having to take more body weight than it was if you were standing upright. And it changes the aspect of the balance. Inhale and stand up. Come fully back into the normal pose before you exhale and release. As always, start with a warm-up before you try doing any of the poses. Finish with a cool down, Shavasana, child's pose, whatever you feel like doing on that day, and only work into the poses as far as your body will let you. If you start to feel pain, if you start to feel tingling or numbness in any of the variations of the poses, then take a step back, come out of it. If you can't wrap the arms round because that causes pain in the shoulders, you can do the legs and just have the palms back to back, or even just stay in prayer pose or raise your arms over your head. There's lots of adaptations to each of the poses. The same, if you can't do the legs, you can do the arm variation either sitting down. You could have a seated pose with your legs wide, a seated pose where your knees are bent and you're sitting on the floor, so Vajrasana. There are lots of variations, so you can change the pose up to suit your body and to suit your body's feeling on the day that you're doing the pose. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.